The Arabian horse is not just the world's oldest breed. It is the foundation upon which nearly all modern riding breeds were built. Its origin is lost in the sands of time, shrouded in legends of Bedouin tribes who believed these animals were a direct gift from God, created from the south wind. However, to understand the Arabian horse in today's global landscape, one must first delve into the technical and historical separation of its primary bloodlines. Historically, the selection made in the Arabian deserts focused on survival and extreme loyalty. Over the centuries, this genetics spread and adapted in different breeding centers worldwide, giving rise to what we know today as the straight Egyptian, Polish, Russian, Spanish, and Crabbet lines. The Egyptian line is undoubtedly the most purest, maintaining a phenotype that prioritizes the extremely concave head, expressive black eyes, and high tail carriage, being considered by many as the crown jewel of the breed. On the other hand, the Polish and Russian lines were shaped for war and sport, resulting in horses with a more robust bone structure, greater height, and incomparable athletic movement. These bloodlines are not just geographical divisions, but distinct breeding philosophies that define whether the animal will be a beauty champion in a halter show or an endurance athlete capable of traveling hundreds of kilometers in the desert. Understanding this foundation is essential for any enthusiast, as an Arabian horse's lineage dictates not only its appearance but its market value and its contribution to the global gene pool. Over the centuries, the Arabian horse transcended the borders of Bedouin tribes to become a symbol of status, power, and refinement in the royal courts of Europe and, later, in the grand estates of the Americas and the modern Middle East. The transition from a warhorse to a show and luxury horse marked the beginning of a new era for the breed. Countries like the United States played a crucial role in the 20th century, establishing rigorous genealogical records and transforming the market into a multi-billion-dollar industry. However, the most impressive phenomenon of recent decades is the triumphant return of prominence to the Gulf countries, such as Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. In these locations, breeding Arabian horses is not just a hobby, but a matter of national pride and cultural preservation. Stud farms like Al Shakab in Qatar have become temples of genetics, where cutting-edge technology, including embryo transfer and cloning, is used to perpetuate the bloodlines of the world's greatest champions. Meanwhile, in Europe, Poland remains the bastion of elite state breeding, with the Jano Podlaski and Michaelo studs producing animals that are true works of art in motion. This global scenario has created a network of interdependence, where a stallion born in Brazil can be trained in the United States to compete under the flag of an Arabian sheik in Paris. This globalization of the breed has not only raised the aesthetic standards of the animals, but has also created an extremely competitive and sophisticated market, where the search for morphological perfection and the ideal type drives auctions that attract investors from all continents, consolidating the Arabian as the most internationalized horse in the world. Within the global landscape, Brazil occupies a position of absolute prominence, being widely recognized as one of the 3 largest producers of superior quality Arabian horses on the planet. The history of the Arabian horse in Brazilian territory is marked by massive investment in imported genetics, which, combined with a favorable climate and excellent management by our breeders, has resulted in animals that frequently dominate the rings of Scottsdale in the United States and the World Championship in Paris. Brazilian breeders have developed a clinical eye for morphological selection, successfully blending the delicacy of Egyptian lines with the structure and vigor of Polish and Russian lineages. Centers of excellence such as Harris Vila dos Pinheiros and Harris Maia Lua have become global benchmarks, exporting not only animals but also semen and embryos to the most demanding stud farms in Europe and the Middle East. Brazil's success in breeding is so evident that many of today's great world champions carry the prefix of Brazilian studs in their pedigrees. Beyond beauty, Brazil stands out for functionality, with Brazilian Arabian horses shining in endurance and performance disciplines. This high level of selection has transformed the country into an international business hub, where Brazilian auctions are followed in real time by investors from all over the world. Brazil's ability to produce animals with extremely refined heads, well-set necks, and floating movement has consolidated the Brazil brand as a seal of guarantee and quality in the international equestrian market, proving that the country is not just a trend follower, but a true trendsetter for the breed in the 21st century. The question of which is the most valued Arabian horse transcends mere individual beauty and delves deeply into the complex economics of equine genetics. The value of an Arabian specimen is multifaceted, determined by a combination of rigorous factors that include its lineage, pedigree, its titles and conformation, halter shows, and, crucially, the quality of its progeny. A stallion or mare with an impeccable pedigree, tracing back to foundational lines or world champions, already possesses a high base value. However, the true leap in price occurs when the animal demonstrates the ability to transmit its characteristics of excellence to its offspring. A stallion that regularly produces sons and daughters who become national or world champions becomes an invaluable genetic asset, with breeding fees, reproductive services, that can reach tens of thousands of dollars. Mares, especially golden broodmares, those that consistently produce champions, also achieve stratospheric values. The market is driven by an elite of breeders and investors who seek not just an elite animal, but a genetic legacy. The recent record-breaking sale of the stallion Genesis 66 in Brazil, reaching figures beyond imagination, is a clear testament to this dynamic. This type of transaction is not just the purchase and sale of an animal. It is an investment in a breeding program, in the perpetuation of a desired genetic type, and in the assurance of future champions. The structure of elite auctions, which frequently use quota or share formats, allows multiple investors to share the risk and potential profit, further raising total values and transforming the Arabian horse into one of the most valuable living commodities on the planet. What defines an elite Arabian horse in 2025 is not just visual observation, but a sophisticated combination of science and biotechnology. The quest for morphological perfection, which includes a broad forehead, an extremely concave face, flared nostrils, and an arched neck, is now accelerated by state-of-the-art reproductive methods. Embryo transfer, ET, has revolutionized breeding, allowing a champion mare to produce multiple offspring in a single year by using recipient mares to carry the pregnancy. This maximizes the reproductive potential of the world's best broodmares, increasing the supply of top-tier genetics without compromising the health or show career of the donor mare. Furthermore, in vitro fertilization, IVF, and intracytoplasmic sperm injection, ICSI, have become common tools to ensure the offspring of deceased or low-fertility stallions, preserving precious bloodlines that would otherwise be lost to history. All this technology comes at a high cost, which contributes to the animal's final value. A foal born from a tested genetic combination, using the most modern techniques, already enters the market with significant added value. However, this quest for ultra-refinement also sparks ethical and technical debates between traditional and modern breeders. While show enthusiasts seek an increasingly exotic and sculptural look, proponents of functionality warn of the importance of maintaining the bone structure and respiratory health that made the Arabian horse the desert's most resilient athlete. This balance between reproductive science, extreme aesthetics, and the preservation of physical health is what defines today's master breeders, transforming stud farms into true laboratories of applied genetics where the future of the breed is designed with each new generation. As we look toward the future of the Arabian horse, we realize that its relevance only tends to grow in a world that increasingly values exclusivity and history. Today's market does not seek just an animal, but a connection to the past and a promise for the future. Trends for the coming years point toward an even greater integration between Western and Eastern markets, with technology facilitating the instantaneous global trade of genetic material. Brazil, consolidated as a breeding ground for champions, will continue to play a vital role, serving as an inexhaustible source of animals that balance exotic beauty with physical vigor. However, the greatest challenge for the breed will be the ethical sustainability of breeding, ensuring that the quest for extreme refinement never overshadows the welfare and functionality that are the core of the original Arabian horse. Preserving the genetic diversity of rare bloodlines, such as the straight Egyptian, will be fundamental so that the breed does not lose its ancient identity. Ultimately, the Arabian horse remains the safest investment for a breeder's heart and for the portfolio of an elite investor. It is proof that beauty can be quantified in millions of dollars, but the emotion of seeing a specimen galloping with its tail held high and its intelligent gaze is truly priceless. We conclude that the world's most valued horse is not just the one that breaks auction records, as we saw with Genesis 66, but rather the one that manages to perpetuate the desert legend in every new birth, keeping alive the flame of a breed that survived empires and continues to reign supreme in the 21st century.